Failure, a word that terrifies most of us. But what if I told you that the very people we admire today, billionaires, world leaders, scientists, entertainers, all faced failure so big, so humiliating, that most of us would have quit right there? In today's video, we're going to dive into 10 legendary figures who turned failure into fuel and ended up writing history. Stay with me till the end, because the last story might just change the way you look at your own struggles forever. 10 people who failed before success. Story 1. Thomas Edison. They called him stupid. His teachers said he was too dumb to learn anything. And later in life, he was fired for his first 2 jobs for being unproductive. But Edison refused to accept society's definition of him. When he tried to invent the electric light bulb, he failed not 1, not 100, but more than 1,000 times. Reporters mocked him. "Mr. Edison, how does it feel to fail 1,000 times?" Edison calmly replied, "I didn't fail 1,000 times. The light bulb was an invention with 1,000 steps." That mindset gave us the gift of light, and the world was never the same again. But Edison wasn't the only one society gave up on too soon. Oprah Winfrey. Today, she's the queen of media. But back then, Oprah was a poor African-American girl born to a teenage single mother. She was abused as a child, wore potato sacks as dresses, and when she finally got her first job as a TV anchor, she was fired for being too emotional. Most would have quit, but Oprah turned her pain into power. She learned to connect deeply with people and built a career on empathy. Result? She became the first Black female billionaire in history, proof that your background does not dictate your future. Story 3. Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs, a man who put insanely great in every product he touched. But did you know he was fired from the very company he co-founded? In 1985, Apple's board kicked him out. Humiliating, devastating. But Jobs said, "Getting fired from Apple was the best thing that ever happened to me." He started a new company called Next and bought Pixar. Yes, the Pixar that gave us Toy Story. When Apple eventually begged him to return, he transformed the company into the world's most valuable brand. Sometimes being thrown out of your own house is exactly what you need to build a palace. Story 4. J.K. Rowling. Before Harry Potter, Rowling was a single mother, broke, living on welfare. She submitted her manuscript to 12 publishers. All 12 rejected it. One even told her, "Children don't want to read such long books." But she didn't give up. And today, Harry Potter is a multi-billion-dollar empire. Rowling once said, "Rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life." Lesson: sometimes the darkest place is just the beginning of your greatest story. Story 5. Walt Disney. Imagine this. Walt Disney was once fired from a newspaper because they said he lacked imagination. Yes, the man who created Mickey Mouse, Disneyland, and some of the most magical stories on Earth. Before success, every studio rejected him. He went bankrupt. People laughed at his crazy idea of a theme park. Today, Disney isn't just a brand, it's a world of wonder. All because one man refused to let someone else's opinion define him. Story 6. Colonel Sanders. KFC's secret recipe is loved worldwide, but behind it is a man who failed more times than anyone else on this list. At 65 years old, broke, retired, living off a $105 Social Security check, Sanders decided to try selling his fried chicken recipe. He went door to door, restaurant to restaurant, pitching his recipe. Do you know how many times he was rejected? Over 1,000 times. But on the 1,009th attempt, someone said yes. And that's how KFC was born. Imagine if he gave up after 100 or 500 or 999 rejections. Your dream might just be waiting one yes away. Story 7. Michael Jordan. The greatest basketball player of all time was cut from his high school basketball team. Jordan cried all night, But instead of quitting, he used that pain as motivation. Years later, when he became a global icon, he said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again, and that is why I succeed." Story 8. Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln failed in business, lost multiple elections, had a nervous breakdown. People called him unfit for politics, but he kept standing back up. Eventually, he became the 16th President of the United States, the man who abolished slavery and redefined freedom. His story proves failure isn't final unless you stop trying. Story 9. Albert Einstein. Today, Einstein is the face of genius, but as a child, he didn't speak until he was 4. His teacher said he will never amount to much. He failed his university entrance exam, yet he went on to revolutionize physics with the theory of relativity. His life is a reminder that just because you don't fit the system doesn't mean you're destined to change it. Story 10. Elon Musk. Elon Musk, founder of Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink. Today he's worth billions, but his journey was paved with failure. He was bullied as a child, nearly killed in fights. His first company failed. PayPal almost went bankrupt. Tesla? Mocked. SpaceX? His first 3 rocket launches exploded, losing hundreds of millions of dollars. Most people said he was finished. But Musk risked everything on one final launch, and it succeeded. Today, he's building electric cars, sending rockets into space, and shaping the future of humanity. And he'll be the first to tell you, failure is just part of the process. So, what do these 10 legends have in common? Edison, Oprah, Jobs, Rowling, Disney, Sanders, Jordan, Einstein, Musk. They failed. They were rejected. They were doubted. But they all shared one simple decision. They refused to quit. Remember this. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of success. So the next time you fail, don't ask, "Why me?" Ask, "What next?" Because your story could be the next one the world remembers. If you found inspiration in these stories, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And in the comments below, tell me, which story inspired you the most? This is the Biography Wisdom Tales, and I'll see you in the next video.